Hey guys, today I want to do a segment on Lupe Fiasco, just talking about some of his work and how he's facing a problem that's common to a lot of artists these days. And that problem is fans viewing their favorite artists as becoming too mainstream, I guess you could call it. And it happens to basically everyone. And I definitely know it's going to happen to Kid Cudi when he releases his new rock album, so I figured it's a good time to talk about it. So we're going to go all the way back to Food and Liquor and just start from there. As many of you guys know, Lupe's first album was Food and Liquor. It was released in 2006, and as I'm just kind of reading the reviews here, I noticed that a lot of people call it one of, if not the best albums of that year. See, that on its own just shows you how much he exceeded every expectation of him. The album really brought back a sense of artistry and storytelling to the genre with songs such as The Cool, and it really showed everybody who Lupe Fiasco was. I mean, his mixtapes obviously were genius, but they really were only just a taste of him. So I feel like that's why Food and Liquor was such a shock, like the good kind. But yeah, I feel like these expectations though, as they grow, as expectations normally do, kind of bring about his downfall, at least for the moment, when we get to Lasers. And you can kind of see it when we talk about The Cool, which will be next. So obviously there was a ton of hype surrounding the release of this album, Lupe Fiasco's The Cool. It came out a year after Food and Liquor, which isn't a lot of time in between two albums, really. So everybody was still super pumped from Food and Liquor and just waiting for what Lupe Fiasco would bring to the table next. While this is one of my favorite albums by him, it really got some mixed reviews because a lot of people claimed it was not cohesive for such a long album, and it was just not really old Lupe Fiasco. It wasn't the same quality. And I feel like this is partly due to people's expectations and what I like to call the hipster complex. Basically what happens is people will listen to an artist's first album, they'll love it, and then they get to the second one and they're like, okay, this is just the same old, when do I get something different? And when they finally bring something different to the table, they're like, ew, this is totally selling out, this is not who I thought he was, what happened? And this definitely happens with this album, and it definitely happens with Lasers. It's actually the reason many people did not like the album, and so yeah, let's talk about that. Real quick guys, before we jump into Lasers, I just want to say, for those of you who don't have The Cool, since it is my favorite album of his, I thought I'd recommend a couple songs. You should definitely get Hip Hop Saves My Life, like that is a classic Lupe Fiasco song. I really like Paris Tokyo, Streets on Fire, and Fighters. So if you're looking for just a couple songs, I would definitely recommend those. Lasers is Lupe's third and most recent album. It stands for Love Always Shines, Every Time Remember to Smile. And a lot of the issues that people have with it kind of stem from the expectations that were built up before it was even released. Already you have people waiting for years to hear another Lupe album, and then you add in a protest just to get the date for the release, and you get some pretty high expectations that no artist can reach with a third album. It's definitely more commercial. For example, a song Out of My Head is not a song you would normally see on a Lupe Fiasco album, and I think a lot of it has to do with the control the record company had over the production of the album. One critic said this is the absolute worst case scenario of what can happen when commerce is placed above art, which is a really harsh comment, and I think it berates more the executives than Lupe Fiasco himself, because they really tried to make it more commercial, try to fit Lupe back into the mold of what is going on in today's music world. Clearly that didn't work out too well, because a lot of people said they don't like the album. One of my friends actually disagrees with that and says he loves it because it's more accessible to other fans, and that's kind of funny because everybody else hated it for that exact reason. As fans, you really don't want your favorite artist to change for other people. And it's clear that the record company really played a huge part in why that happened. I like the album because the songs are really fun. My favorite one is Never Forget You, which is a really cute song. And just by me saying cute to describe Lupe Fiasco's song kind of shows you how the album isn't really what you'd expect. So guys, thank you for watching. I hope I kind of raised some questions for you, wondering whether our favorite artists are really changing. Can they really not live up to the expectations we hold them to? Or do the record companies eventually take so much control over what they produce that it ends up being something we don't even want to consume? So I had fun talking to you guys. Hopefully I'll be making more videos. So thanks for watching.